Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing fantastic today. My name is Bidier, and today I want to talk about Greyscale is buying up more than just Bitcoin. This is Techciety. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and do turn on the bell notification icon to find out when I post so you don't miss out. Greyscale is buying up more than just Bitcoin. So 22% crypto fund manager Greyscale Investments purchases have been Ether throughout 2020 so far, totaling $110 million worth of accumulation. Now, everyone has been talking about Greyscale's buying up of the market of crypto and how much they're basically trying to control Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, and it's kind of getting out of hand, it seems like. So they say institutional investors diversify with ETH. As such, Greyscale's purchases are equal to 0.4% of Ethereum's total market cap in the past 5 months. And Ethereum has been around for a few years now. Sharif Askari noted that over 38% of Greyscale's current clients now hold more than one crypto asset, up significantly from roughly 9% as of 12 months from now. It's encouraging to investors to diversify within the digital cryptocurrency asset class, just like they would with any other traditional asset. So over the same period, Greyscale has purchased $390 million in Bitcoin, equal to 0.2% of the market's capitalization. The firm is reportedly buying BTC at a rate equal to 1.5 times the quantity of new Bitcoin created through mining. And it says Greyscale Ethereum Trust explodes. It has increased nearly 100% with the market's last recorded trade closing for $210. Within the last 24 hours, the trust briefly tested $250, offering year-to-date returns of 995% to investors who purchased shares at the start of January. So this is insane. Institutions are buying up ETH in mass. They're seeking an inflation hedge amid uncertainty. You know that we kind of need this kind of stability for these uncertain times. And this is one way that institutions are saying, look, we see that that money is being printed like it's water. Okay, that is not okay. We got to get out of it. We got to make sure that we're not losing our money. We want to secure it and make sure that we don't lose it to inflation. So I understand why they would do this. No fault to them at all, right? So again, I think this is probably this is definitely something that people should know about for sure. This next article comes from yougov. Now, if you're unfamiliar with yougov, what they do is they do a lot of surveys, typically within the political sphere. They say that 81% of Americans are familiar with at least one type of cryptocurrency. Now, keep in mind, this article did come out back in September 24th, 2019. I still think it holds pretty relatively current today. Now, there may be a lot more people in the space, but in terms of numbers, I don't know what the current numbers would be. It does give an overarching view of how people are thinking about cryptocurrency here in America. So the article says that about 8 in 10 Americans are familiar with at least one type of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is by far the most well known, with 3/4 of adults saying that they've heard of it. Far fewer are familiar with the separate currency known as Bitcoin Cash or with Ethereum, which is crazy to me to think about because Bitcoin Cash is much more known than Ethereum. So they're saying, who's buying cryptocurrency? Well, they found out that it's mostly millennials. They say that 35% have bought at least one cryptocurrency within the past year. Millennials are more hopeful about cryptocurrency in general than their Gen X and baby boomer counterparts. And you can see right here that when it comes to the numbers, millennials are buying Bitcoin, then Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and then Ripple. In comparison to Gen X and baby boomers, it is almost double, if not more so, than everybody else. So it goes on to say that 40% of Americans familiar with crypto believe it will become widely accepted as a means of transaction within 10 years. So it does seem that on the total, it doesn't seem like people have a firm belief of whether it will or will not be widely accepted. Of the total, they're pretty split, almost evenly. But it does say that for millennials, they're a lot more positive, thinking that it's going to be more widely accepted. I think that it should be widely accepted, but not everybody thinks like I do, right? So it goes on to say that a majority, 56%, are familiar with crypto, say they are not at all interested in the idea of the US converting to primarily using crypto instead of US dollars. But even millennials, who tend to be more familiar with it and are confident about it, say they tend to say that they would not be at all interested in converting primarily to using crypto. Yeah, so it does seem like, according to this article, a lot more people are not as willing to spend their Bitcoin or their cryptocurrency rather, as opposed to holding on to it and more so investing in it. And I think that's a pretty smart idea, especially if you think that you don't know where it's going to go in the future, and you're like, okay, well, it has been out for just a few years now in comparison to, let's say, the dollar. The dollar has been around for quite some time, and it's been in circulation. But, Bitcoin is still relatively new. We don't know what's going to happen to it. It's still, even though it can be seen as a store of value, we still want to see what happens in the future. And I think that's a very smart way of looking at it. This next article comes from Coin Insider. It says CoinMarketCap announces more algorithmic changes. So according to this article, it said that CMC wants to have an impact on the way that exchanges are being tracked as well as ranked. And it looks like what they want to do is they want to install metrics that show more the volume, liquidity, as well as long-term changes. The CEO, the interim CEO, Carolyn Shan, says, "I believe this new ranking of exchanges will provide our users with an accurate reflection of the trading venues as they are scored on a triage of factors that provide a complete picture. Our machine learning algo will improve and adapt to volume, liquidity, and traffic changes over time." So what they're basically saying is, look, we know that there's been a lot of criticism to the way that exchanges are ranked, and this came as a result of Binance buying the platform in early April. So now CMC users are criticizing the platform for showing bias towards Binance, which is listed and ranked as a top performing exchange. And since there's so many exchanges out there, it's kind of hard to cherry pick Binance at the top and say, well, Binance is great, so we might as well push that. And users are like, well, what if I don't want to use Binance, or I can't use Binance because I'm in the US? That's basically what these guys are saying. So they're like, okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to change things up for you. We're going to say it's basically you guys will decide what you think should be at the forefront. This next article on CoinDesk says digital currencies could replace low interest bank accounts according to UN expert. Digital currencies could supersede bank accounts as low interest rates make them increasingly obsolete. That's the view of Massimo Bonomo. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, the UN's global blockchain expert, who adds that digital currencies, particularly central bank digital currencies or CBDCs, could soon eliminate the need for a bank account altogether. Now, I don't know if you've been seeing your bank account interest rates. Some of them are as low as 0.03% or 0.01% interest. I don't know if you'd be very happy about your money basically saying, well, I'm just going to be here and I'm not really going to get you any money back, so why even have me? That would be something that I would take a look at if you have not already done so. And if you would go into the crypto currency lending platforms like, say, Celsius, for example, you would definitely get a lot higher interest rate on that, especially in these uncertain times. So he says that banks remain vulnerable to hacking, along with credit card companies. They add friction by charging transaction fees. That third-party credit card companies are basically seen as third-party intermediaries saying, okay, well, I know this store doesn't know this customer and this customer doesn't know that store, they're basically strangers, right? So we need to act as a third-party trust validator saying, okay, I trust you and I trust you, so I'm going to take your money and give it to that person, or the opposite, right? And that's basically how the third-party system works. With crypto, you don't have that. Basically, all that trust is on the blockchain. So they go on to say that the one-tier model would be the most disruptive, he says, just as feasible. Central banks could piggyback off the sophisticated social security systems that are widespread in the developed world to distribute currency to those who need it most, such as the disabled or the registered unemployed. So this is basically saying, look, we know that your banks are not going to get you too much interest back for your money, so why are you using them, basically? So what I was saying earlier is that if you go to Celsius.network, you'll see this very comprehensive list of how it works in accordance to their platform versus other platforms. So, in terms of giving back to their community, 80% of revenue goes directly to the user in the form of interest. How about for BlockFi, JP Morgan, or Bank of America? 0 all across the board. If you have USD, the interest that you could earn on $500,000 in stablecoins, and that could be Tether or USDC, is 9.75%. And this is on 500K of stablecoins, it says. Whereas if you look at JP Morgan Chase or Bank of America, it's a measly 0.01 or 0.03% interest. That is insane to think about. You are basically paying to keep your money in the bank according to these numbers. And the same thing can go for Ethereum or Bitcoin. It shows that it's over 4% for both of those on Celsius versus JP Morgan or Chase, 0% all across the board. BlockFi at least has 2.8 and 1.62. With dollar loan interest rates, you're at a very, very low 4.95%. Versus everybody else's on this chart. And who gets to keep the platform profits? Depositors, not the shareholders and not investors. So basically it's saying we're here for you, the regular people, not for the companies and the one that want to profit off us, or that we have to basically be accountable for, I guess I should say. So go ahead, check out Celsius. I'm going to drop the link in the description below, so go ahead and at least take a look and see what you would gain, because these are some pretty insane numbers. If you hold Ethereum, it shows that you can get 3.82%. Bitcoin would be 4.03%. But for your stable coins, they have True USD, USDC coin, Canadian True Canadian Dollar coin. All these are basically the stable coins that they were alluding to, that you could have a better interest rate than your typical bank would. This next article I want to go over comes from Decrypt. It says, fighting censorship with blockchain and Minecraft. Ingenious solutions to combat censorship are embracing decentralization, from servers hosting a Minecraft library to blockchain-powered encyclopedias. So basically, what's happening now is there are banned texts that are being hosted on multiple servers worldwide. Many books that are banned in certain countries or certain areas from the public, as it is being hosted on multiple servers, basically are saying we can't be deleted. And that's exactly the essence of blockchain technology, because it's not coming from one source, it's not centralized, it's on multiple sources or decentralized. You can't go ahead and delete all of them at the same time. You can try and delete one or maybe a few, but there's going to be much more out there, widespread. So this is a very good move. Technology and the principles of decentralization are being used to combat the censorship by doing this. And they also go in to say that blockchain-powered encyclopedia Everpedia built on censorship-resistant principles, while Status is providing privacy with peer-to-peer messaging. So if you haven't checked out Everpedia, I definitely would. It's a very good resource, almost as good as, if not better, than Wikipedia as it is right now, especially considering the fact that it is a decentralized Wikipedia, as it were. So it goes on to say that block-based sandbox game Minecraft is the last place prime government censors expect to find subversive content. Should a government block Minecraft for whatever reason, which is the most popular game in the world, the whole world would know in an instant. That's why Reporters Without Borders, or the NGO, the champions press freedom, created the Uncensored Library, an ornate archive of works from prominent censored journalists hosted in Minecraft. Now this is astounding. Think about going into a video game, and I want to check out XYZ book that is being banned in some places, and you can just go into the video game, look it up right there, and read it. It's mind-blowing to me. So it goes on to say, climb the stairs of the High Dome Library, which sprawls inward from an island whose shores are open to anyone with an internet connection, and that's when you'll reach the rooms packed with the works from censored journalists, such as Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi Arabian dissident who was assassinated in Turkey in 2018, as well as Yulia Berezovskaya, an exiled journalist who runs a banned website in Russia, fills some of the 200 books that are offered. Okay, so the Uncensored Library was designed by Reporters Without Borders in collaboration with Blockworks. Blockworks is a London-based company that builds elaborate Minecraft worlds alongside two media agencies. Comprising of 2 million blocks, the library can be downloaded from Blockworks' website and already it's taken on a life of its own. James Delaney, the founder of Blockworks, told Decrypt, We already have cases of many other people hosting the library on their own server. Once it's been released, it multiplies and is therefore much more difficult to take down. Since its launch in mid-March, its 100,000 visitors, about 3,000 of whom were from heavily censored countries, have combined spent at least 5 years in the library. This is fantastic news to anybody that understands what it means to be censored and not have your voice heard. If people are going to take down your content and censor you, then you basically are following the narrative that they only allow. And we cannot have that. We need to have that freedom of speech. We need to have that freedom of expression. So the whole fact of decentralization coming to Minecraft through this Uncensored Library is a fantastic move, and I applaud everybody who's gone into and contributed to this Uncensored Library in the wake of the uncensorship that they've been getting oppressed by. So that goes on to say that free speech is welcome here. Everpedia's president is a proud operator of a decentralized alternative Wikipedia, one that can't be scrubbed clean by censors. Whereas countries ban Wikipedia to try to espouse a different narrative of reality, just like I was saying, Everpedia can't be banned since the authenticity of its content is verified by blockchain's immutable ledger. It's not the content of the encyclopedia entries itself that's stored in the blockchain, but the number of upvotes to each edit on the article. And these votes, recorded in the form of IQ points, are hashed on the blockchain and tallied up, allowing users to come to consensus on the currency of the entire global content pool. Then users can download content from anyone hosting it, secure that they're getting the most up-to-date version. Okay, he says that the site attracts 2 million people per month, as well as a core community of around 2,000 power users who contribute to the the bulk of the site's contents. And that's when Larry Singer, a co-founder of Wikipedia, served as Everpedia's chief information officer, or CIO, until 2019 when he quit to work on Encyclosphere, another decentralized Wikipedia that's yet to be released, as well as his own consulting firm. Now, Kazminian said that Everpedia is popular in China, even though its domain name, everpedia.com, is blocked by its immense firewall. People in mainland China have created random domain names that resolve to what everpedia.org would have resolved to, the front-end implementation of Everpedia, he says. People need to use VPNs, or they have to go this rerouted kind of method just to look at information. The impact of censorship is very difficult to believe, But at the same time, this is what's happening. These are the kind of things that we have to be aware in our everyday lives. If it's not affecting us personally, it could be affecting other people that eventually it may come back to us. Who knows? But again, censorship is definitely not. It's definitely not helpful to anybody except for the people who want to control a narrative. So it goes on to say that Everpedia is far from the only project that hosts censored content on the blockchain. So here's the website right here, Everpedia. It says that it's everyone's encyclopedia. Okay, so it has all these articles that you can go ahead and take a look at. It has everything from the big disruption to Sullivan King, just at the front page, I'm sorry. I definitely would check out this website for sure. It is definitely a worthwhile resource to have, especially in the wake of the censorship that we are being affected by right now. So everpedia.org, go ahead, check it out, and give it a try. That's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the latest happenings in the crypto space. Don't forget to leave a comment to keep the conversation going. My name is Bidier, and until next time, stay bullish.